Welcome back to Poetry and Police. Yes, welcome back to the channel. As usual, I have to big up my loyal subscribers. Big up to members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the police officers in Jamaica who are on the street now doing mobile and foot patrol duties, police officers who are working in the courts and even working in the correctional systems. Big up the correctional officers, the teachers and the nurses in Jamaica, because everybody has to hold their own. But as usual, I am a police officer. I am an ex-police officer, so I represent the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force foremost at all times. And in recent years, up until now, I have noticed that there's no balance. There's no balance between police officers and justice. And even though from day to day, day in day out, police officers has lost their lives in fighting crime and violence in Jamaica, nobody seems to recognize the efforts of police officers. I mean, when I say effort, I mean the positive efforts of police officers, and that police officers are sacrificing their families and their friends and their lives for the Jamaican people. And the Jamaican people has never stopped and take a moment out of their lives to ever think that the only entity in Jamaica that cares about you, the people in Jamaica, is the police department. The police department right now is the closest thing to a human rights group in Jamaica, because we are the department who defends the rights of the citizens, not Jamaica for Justice. Jamaica for Justice only speaks when the very ones that were violating the good law-abiding citizens in Jamaica gets put down by the police or taken out by the police, to put it short. That is the only time Jamaica for Justice arises above the water and laments and open their mouth and cause people to believe otherwise about the police in Jamaica. You see, just as citizens need safeguarding from crime, officers need safeguarding too. Officers need to be safeguarded from criticism, of course. We need to be safeguarded from people like Jamaican for Justice. We need to be safeguarded against the dons in the communities who wants to turn the people of Jamaica against the police department. And as a citizens of Jamaica, it's time for you to sit down and really think about the fact that when gunshot is firing at night, so who can you call? You can call upon God, but is God coming? You call upon the police, they will come. They will risk their lives even if gunshots are firing to come inside the area to quell the gunfire and put their lives in danger. I have done it as an ex-police officer, and I have done it ever so often. And you people like I have always said to you Jamaican people, that your memories are so short, that you do not see from a day-to-day basis that if the police was not around, then your communities would have been destroyed by gunmen long time ago. If there was no police officers in Jamaica, there would not be any Jamaica to travel to the United States and come back to. There will never be any Jamaica. And good law-abiding, hard-working people in Jamaica couldn't own houses. Or you could own houses, but you could not stay in your houses. And that's the reason why I've used the term that Jamaican people's memories are so short. Because if any one of you here, older people up above 50, you can remember the days when Whitfield Town was an uptown. And how much other communities was uptown? Until the people had to move out. Why? Because of criminals. Because of criminals, people have to left their homes that they spend so much money to build and move in a different area and start anew. Because of criminals. And yet, it would appear as if the Jamaican people, the Jamaican society, tend to believe in criminals more than how they believe in the police department. That if a criminal come and say, there's no police officer left at Huntsville, then they will believe that. But if a police officer come and say, all the criminals, there's no more criminals in Kingston 13, then nobody will believe that. Suffice to say, the people in Jamaica are so easily misled by people like our fraternities like Jamaica for Justice. and by the Dans in the communities that they fail to recognize the real heroes in the picture, the real heroes in the story. The real heroes in the stories are the policemen who have given their lives and given their freedom and has given their youth and their mobility and their livelihood for you, the people of Jamaica. I was stationed at Huntsby, and let me tell you this, and I've said this in one of my videos before, that anytime we hear gunshots are being fired in the Kingston 13 area, Waterhouse area, and all of those surrounding communities that the Huntsby police was in charge of, you would see police officers in the CIB running, racing to jump into a vehicle to go and respond to the shooting. What? Was it because we love to respond to the shooting? Was it because we want to find people to kill? Or was it really because we wanted to reach the area fast enough to save a life of a civilian? The very same people who hate the police, the very same people who, when their families are killed, they blame the police. Oh, you were not here in time. But at the same time, you bash the police. And you do not have belief in the police because the police did not come in time. You have never sought to blame the gunmen in the communities, most of you, that these are the men who are killing out your families and these are the men that are making your lives uncomfortable. You know how much garrison communities I have worked in, from Seaview Gardens to Riverton City to Kalalobed to Walton Park to Waterhouse and everywhere? And the only thing that can stop the every minute, every day, every night gunshot is the presence of police. And yet the police come in communities and you hate the police. You hate the very persons who are protecting your lives. You hate the very persons who are putting their lives on the line for you. You criticize the very same persons who are risking their family's happiness for you. The very same persons who cares about you more than anybody else in Jamaica, than politicians or the Dans in the communities. And it comes back down to the thing that nobody safeguards the police. We tend to believe in the police that are corrupt more than we believe in the police that are good. We tend to stereotype the Jamaica Constabulary Force that we are a bunch of criminals because of one misfit. Because of one unscrupulous police, we base the whole police department off of that one person. And this is the thing that we need to stop in Jamaica. We cannot blame the whole police department for one criminal police, one little, I don't even know if we call them. Because they exist in every organization. But you act as if it's not supposed to exist in the police department. It exists in the police department right around the world, and there's nothing that those countries around the world can do about it, and neither can us. The police department right now in Jamaica is the closest thing to human rights. Because we go out there on a daily basis risking our lives to defend the rights of good law-abiding citizens, and even the criminals them too. Because a lot of times when these boys in a gunshot and them own friends who have turned enemies come to slaughter them, I want police jeep save them life, One foot patrol save them life up the block. Because police are in the area. Just the mere presence of a police patrol team in the area save their lives from time to time. Sometimes not save their lives entirely, but save their lives for that day because they end up there another day when the police is gone. The people in these communities, you should be bawling every day. You should be bawling to the Prime Minister of Jamaica. You should be bawling to the Commissioner of Police to have more police present in all the garrison communities, all the violent communities across in Jamaica. Because this is the only way that crime, especially murders, is going to stay at a low if we have a high level of police presence in these areas. The people of Jamaica, you need to demand police presence from the Prime Minister. You need to demand that the police department, that more members are added to the police department. Instead of demanding that the police account for all of their actions properly, as what you claim, as what the Jamaica for Justice claim, that the police department is not accounting properly for these shootings. When the people in the garrison community see how violent these men are, They're not afraid to kill one another. They're not afraid to shoot police officers. They're not afraid to shoot women and children and even dogs if we come to that test. And we know that the police knows this, and even though the police knows this, we still go in those areas risking our lives because it is our duty, it is our job to ensure that the people in Jamaica are safe 24/7. And even the unscrupulous ones, the very same ones that were destroying the police department, the very same ones that have nothing but negative criticism about the police department. I have been shot. I saved a man's life when I was shot, almost killed. Did I get any thanks? No. Did I want any thanks? No. I was merely doing my duties. You see, part of my duty is to lay down my life for any member of the public, rich or poor, red or black, homeless or living at home, lawyer or doctor, police or teacher, correctional officer or nurse, groundsman or farmer or plumber. To make it clear, every single person in Jamaica, I have risked my life for these people when I was a police officer. I went out and I saw a robbery with my family, and I risked the lives of myself. I risked my family's life to get involved in a shootout to prevent a robbery and murder. Which politician is going to do that? Is any member of the Jamaica for Justice staff going to do that for the civilians in Jamaica? Are they going to risk their lives for the people in Jamaica? All they do is talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But what it comes down to, who is the true human rights activist in Jamaica? If it's not the police officers, who then? If it's not the police officers, there's no more human rights activists in Jamaica but the police officers. Jamaica for Justice are only doing this for political achievement and clout, nothing else. And to make the people believe that the police is out to get them and to get everybody and nothing else. That the police is always lying. That is the only thing that the Jamaica for Justice is doing. They keep pressing on the gas, talking about the amount of people that police are unaliving. But they are not pressing the gas when it comes to how much people that these cockroaches are unaliving on a daily basis without cause. That is what they're not doing that. You see, what is true justice? That is always the question. What is true justice? And what is Jamaica for Justice is justice. Who do they want justice for? Do they want justice for the innocent people in Jamaica? Or do they want justice for the criminals in Jamaica? Or they want the people in Jamaica to keep living in fear and injustice? That is the question that I'm asking. I have been shot by gunmen before. I have felt the pain and suffering of being shot by a gunman. And eventually now that same cockroach has been killed not by the police but by his own friends. And should I not rejoice? Yes, I should rejoice. But I can bet any money that if that cockroach was killed by the police, you would have heard that he was murdered. And Jamaica for Justice would have come forward and talk about the shooting was not transparent because the police was not wearing body cameras. I have said this before in all my videos that Jamaica for Justice keep talking about body cameras, but who is going to fund the body cameras? Jamaica barely have money to hire more police officers, and that is what we need. We need more police officers. We need to put cameras on the street to police the criminals first before we police the police. And until I am saying to Mr. Prime Minister right now, do not pay the Jamaica for Justice any mind and the Commissioner of Police, because I would be terribly vexed with you, Commissioner, if you do not put cameras on every street corner in Jamaica to watch these criminals before you start with the police. I am going to see, Mr. Prime Minister, if you're going to put down your 2 foot and be beside the Commissioner of Police and support the Commissioner of Police and the Jamaica Constabulary Force in a bid to rid the nation of criminals, to support the good law-abiding citizens in Jamaica who believes in the police and not the criminals. Because this is what most of these entities want in Jamaica. They create a false narrative about the police. They create a negative narrative about the police department. To discredit the police department. To give credit to criminals. That is all that these people are doing. Look around you, people. Who are the heroes in your communities? They are not the gunmen, they are not the dons. The heroes in your communities are the police officers who are in there on a daily basis risking their lives when these men are having gun battles over foolishness. And you have to be jumping under your bed to hide from gunshots. The police officers are the heroes in the communities. Every single police at Huntsville is a hero. Well, not the ones who are corrupt and criminal. Because we have them, and we are not saying we don't have them. But all I am saying to people is it is time that the Jamaican people stop judging the entire Jamaica Constabulary Force off of the bad deeds. Because the Jamaica Constabulary Force has been doing good deeds over the years, every day, every minute of the day. So judge the department of the good deeds and stop the judge the department of the simple little bad deeds. The few bad deeds that are happening. It's like you're judging the whole bag of seed based off of one bad seed. And this is what the haters and the naysayers are trying to let the Jamaican people believe. That there's no heyday for police officers when it comes to police officers. It is time that the police department rise to glory. And the police department is rising to glory through Commissioner Blake. And with the full support of the Prime Minister. And for the first time in my life, I am proud to call Bro God my Prime Minister. I am not a Labourite. Don't get me mixed up. I am not a PNP. But for the first time in my life as a Jamaican, an ex-police officer, I am proud to call a man Prime Minister. You know why? Because he's backing the police department. And if the police department in any country is the foundation of the country to move forward, because crime and violence does not move a country forward. Productiveness move a country forward. And if a country is plagued by crime and violence, that country has nowhere going in terms of job and improvements. And the Prime Minister has recognized this. Me know me do video, me lick out pan you and your wholeness. Because me have to lick out pan you when me see you do wrong. But for the first time, I am comfortable to say that you are doing the right thing by empowering the police department and backing the police department, because we don't need criminals in Jamaica. What we need is good law-abiding citizens. And you are backing the police in getting rid of these criminals. Jail before the court are the maker. That is the only option for them. And if they feel that they can challenge the police, then they will be put down like the dogs that they are. Jamaica is finally a country. A country that is showing governance, both in the police department and both in politics. I have never seen this before in Jamaica, that the leaders have stepped up in a bid to ensure that Jamaica's crime situation is totally dealt with. And I must say that for once in my life, I can say, bro, God is trying. He's trying.